Hello, my lovely audience. Welcome to another video, and welcome to what if Izuku Midoriya, better known as Deku, was, drumroll please, Springtrap. Yeah, for the FNAF movie and a fan. So, yeah. First of all, little thing. The viewer who wanted me to post this specifically requested that I include a song. When I get to the point, I'll put the song on and all that jazz. Also, I don't own the song, YouTube. I do not. Everything you need to know about the song was on the screen. Why did you copyright strike that video? Why did you copyright that video? Not copyright strike, but copywritten it. Anyway, I'm not that salty about it, but it's still annoying. Anyway, so, yeah. Just what I wanted to say is, if you want me to do something in the videos or include something when you make a suggestion, please do, ask. Feel free to ask, because if, I'm doing it, I might as well make it as enjoyable as possible for the person who suggested it, and everyone else who's gonna watch it, so, feel free to include the little things you want added in, I guess. Anyway, so, yeah. Let's just start off this what if. Izuku Midoriya. An interesting kid whilst growing up. However, no one really took the time to get to know him. So, yeah. Izuku growing up, well, he would always have this type of voice in the back of his head telling him to do things, whether it just be petty, stealing something like a pencil, just petty crimes, to outright killing someone's pet. He never listened to the voice, always thinking, listening to his mother, and, thinking that it was just the devil whispering in his ear, so he never listened. Anyway, one day, Izuku's sister, who I'm just gonna call Ichino's for the context of the video, would manage to convince Izuku to do something. Her and the voice in his head managed to convince him to do something which he would later regret. Now, there was this girl, who I'm going to be calling Akira, who was getting, close with Izuku. And, Izuku's sister, I think I named her Ichino's. If not, her name's Ichino's, okay? Okay. Ichino's was getting very jealous. Now, here's one thing. Akira in this what if has asthma. That'll come into play. So, Ichino's would lead Izuku and Akira into a nearby warehouse they lived in, to play hide and seek. However, Akira would Ichino's would use her paralysis-type quirk, where she sends a volt of electricity through. Well, it's not a paralysis-type quirk, just can be used to paralyze. It's an electricity quirk. She would paralyze Akira and stuff her in a box, and have Izuku lock it. Soon after, Akira would start gloating like, you thought you could take my brother away from me, but guess what, you can't. And, as the voice in Izuku's head is laughing at this, Izuku would speak up. Sis, I don't think this is right. From a moral standpoint, she could die. This is, Izuku's 4, and Akira and Ichino's 5. What's die, Izuku? They don't know what about death yet. Ichino's does, but, just very minorly, just plants can, turn gray, type thing. Well, plants turn brown and then they turn green again when it's summer. Well, when it's January, when it's spring. That's all Ichinos really knows about death. So Izuku, well, not really sure why he knows about death, and also fighting this urge in him that's saying, let Akira die. Well, the voice is more so telling him to just let Akira die. Izuku would continue. When something dies, it doesn't come back. Plants, they don't die during winter. That's just what people call it. They actually just go to sleep, as you would say. But when a plant dies, it can't be brought back. Neither can a person. Ichinos would tilt her head, as she would say, so when something dies, it goes to sleep forever? As Izuku would stamp his foot down on the ground and go, no, it doesn't go to sleep. Going to sleep means you could wake them up. Something dying is permanent. They're gone. Broken, destroyed, whatever you want to call it. They are gone forever when something or someone dies. Unless some kind of quirk can bring them back, but other than that, when someone's dead, it's permanent. Ichino's not quite understanding not quite understanding her brother would be like, I guess it would be better if this, if Akira died. As Izuku would start getting really angry as he would say, you don't understand. Someone dying can have serious consequences. And, well, we cut to Akira, who's in the box. She's, her asthma's acting up, and, well, from the dust inside of the box, and she can hear Izuku arguing with his sister, saying, she's been in there long enough, we should take her out. I don't even know why I agreed to this in the first place. And, well, eventually, Akira would hear banging sounds from outside, no, she wouldn't hear banging sounds. She would hear Izuku walking up to the box. Well, she would hear someone walking up to the box before she would hear a banging sound as someone would be, tackled. And the sounds of a fight could be heard from outside of the box. Then, a massive banging sound as Izuku would scream as he would yell, "Ah, why? Why did you do that?" Ah! Another banging sound could be heard. The sound of scraping and scratching and swinging and clawing and banging can be heard outside as well. When Akira's on the verge of passing out, a metallic claw would rip its way through the top of the box as she would be pulled out of it, and her inhaler would be shoved in her mouth, and, the thing would spray, and she could breathe. She would look up to see Izuku missing, his eye closed, a cut across it, and, this red fluid dripping from both his face, the upper parts of his head, his clothes are torn, and the red fluid's leaking from them as well. She sees a lot of this red fluid everywhere. She thinks it was called blood. Her parents told her about it. And, apparently when someone's doing this thing called bleeding, it isn't good. She remembers, blood from all the times she scraped her knee, but looking at Izuku and how much blood is coming out of him, it's unsettling. As Izuku would collapse on his knees, still holding Akira, as he would go, I'm sorry, I didn't I knew this was a bad idea, and I shouldn't have listened to my sister, and I'm so sorry for that. But at least you're okay now. At least you didn't die. Akira, well, wouldn't see Ichino's anywhere, as she would ask, Izu-kun? Adding the whole Korn and Sama things is weird. Should I do it? Should I just not do it? Tell me in the comments. But she would ask, Izuku? Where's Ichino's? Izuku would stop sobbing for a moment as he would just look at Kira and say, that isn't important. She would then look at Izuku's arm, which appears to be, have a metal skeleton with muscle fibers growing along it and seemingly controlling it, as she would ask, what happened to your arm? Is this your quirk? Is it like some kind of transformation quirk? Or Izuku would respond saying, no, it isn't transformation type. Akira accidentally used her quirk a bit too hard, and my arm kind of, it's the red stuff that's all around us now. It's the blood. My arm exploded into blood, and, I clawed my way to a box with a bunch of these robot arms and put it on to stop the bleeding. And, as you can see, Izuku would close his hand and open it, his metal hand, as he would sigh, and, he would just carry Akira back to the, playground. Time skip a few years. Akira learned later on that Ichino's did not in fact get killed by Izuku, but much rather ran off after he scraped up her arm a bit. Anyway, her and him, despite the incident, started getting closer and closer as time went on, and Ichino stopped harassing her, as you would say. Anyway, time skip. Izuku had just asked Akira out on a date, like the first time ever in her life she's ever been asked out on a date, and it was by Izuku, and she's freaking out. So, yeah. Izuku would take her to one of her favorite restaurants. It's called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Even though Izuku at some point playfully remarked that, this is a children's restaurant, Akira didn't give a shit because she loves the pizza this place makes. Anyway, the entire thing is going on. It's good. Eventually, at some point, Izuku would be pulled back into a staff door. A seeming staff member had, taken him to, the back, because, there's apparently this date special thing. Anyway, after a few minutes, Akira got curious about, where Izuku was. So she went to the door, the staff door. She saw him go in, open it, and then immediately, get hit with a whip of PTSD as she sees Izuku being stuffed inside of the Springtrap suit. A spring. Sees Izuku being stuffed inside, his bloody corpse being stuffed inside of this. As, the guy stuffing him in there would just turn to look at Akira. Akira's just blankly staring at this mouth agape, as she would start screaming, and the guy would just, book it out of the back door of the place, just full sprint running for his life, as, security would walk in and throw up at the sheer amount of blood on the ground. Anyway, Izuku, who's now dead, would be in this black void, and he would walk a bit. As he would hear another set of footsteps behind him, he would turn around and see a guy wearing, well, a purple suit. Well, see a guy wearing a purple suit and cap. Looks like he's, well, a security guard, a night watchman, as you would say. As he would, like, reach forward and say in an all too familiar voice, "I always come back." As, like, Izuku would just look at him, like, first of all, are you the voice in my head? Second of all, that was cheesy as fuck. That line was cheesy as fuck. Sorry, I just had to take a moment to remember to get into my character voice over here. But yeah, Izuku would go, that's cheesy as fuck. Wait, this is like the voice I gave him when he was a child. I should probably, give me a moment. So, yeah, Izuku would just comment on, like, his cheesy-ass line as, like, his hand would kind of droop a bit, and he would go sigh and say, "Yes, I'm the voice in your head, and, like, come on, it was supposed to be cool." Izuku would just kind of blink at him, like, as he would say, you do realize that it's just us here. Like, it would be cool if someone else was listening in or watching this, but it's just us. Well, William, as he's called, Izuku learned his name after a few years of having him in his head, would just kind of put his hands together and look to the side as, like, a guy wearing a funny-ass looking mask with pink and cyan blue eyes is just sat on a table in the distance as he would turn to them and wave. Izuku would just kind of, like, look at him, then decide not to question it, then turn back to William, as he would just go, "Okay, why are you even here in the first place?" As William would go, "Simple. I, made a deal. And, well, you're, I guess, technically my reincarnation after my previous body got destroyed. Yeah, I kinda did a bit of a black magic, as you would call it, and, yeah, that's where your quirk comes from." Izuku would just kind of look at this guy like, "The fuck you mean?" "Oh, yeah, so I got stuffed into a suit and died by the hands of children I killed, and then I got, like, then I possessed the suit because my corpse was in it, and then I attempted to become immortal by absorbing the children's souls. Failed. Got destroyed. Burned. Well, no, not destroyed. Got burned. Got put into a coma. Got burned alive twice, and then destroyed, rebuilt, and then destroyed by a giant mass of wires with with the mask, with the head of Freddy Fazbear." Izuku would just kind of blankly stare at William for a good solid 3 minutes, just computing everything he said. And how does this tie into my quirk?" he would say, still looking very dumbfounded at William's interesting explanation, as he would just say, "Oh, yeah, the suit thing. Just kind of the integration type beat. Get it?" Izuku would sigh and facepalm like, "Yeah, I get it. Why are you here, though? That still doesn't explain this." William would just kind of chuckle and say, Yeah. Well, you see, I kind of killed more children, and then offered up said children to a demon in exchange. I get isekai essentially. Eh, eh, But the whole thing was like a double-sided sword, and as it turns out, the whole reincarnation cycle just kind of cloned me and then wiped my memories, and that's kind of how you came into being. Izuku's eye would just kind of twitch, like, and that's why you were telling me to kill Akira? Because you like child murder? Like, what's with all the child murder, man? As, like, William would chuckle and say, yeah, it's fun. Give me a moment. Hi everyone, I am back. So in case you're curious why, the recording's like it's 0 seconds, it's, because I had to stop recording because something came up and I can only record now, and it's like 1 in the morning, so, sorry. Anyway, yeah, let's just continue. Anyway, William would snap his fingers and suddenly a microphone would appear in his hands as Izuku's eyes would twitch and he would say, don't tell me you're gonna sing. I'm going to sing, Michael would respond with, as sung by a tryhard ninja. It's called We're the Same. Anyway, I'm not gonna record for that long. It's once again 2 in the morning now, so yeah. Just so you know, it's William singing this. Stand back, kick out the phones. It's rolling cold hard tears a hole. Within yourself, open the creaking door and walk through now forevermore. The careless shame. The same. An appetite that only hatred satiates. We're the same. Like glowing embers, I will scorch revengeful angst. We're the same. River upon the banks will rise and make me whole. Let yourself surrender, because we both know it's close your eyes, the end is near. We're the same, you made that clear. Fade to black, it's all that's left. Your soul corrodes, I'm inside. You can't hide the crimson truth. Give yourself to me and you no longer have to pretend. When you open them again, your reign of genocide, the scores are about to intertwine. Now claim your prize. Why hold on to a soul that you it should be mine? We're the same. The only choice there ever was to erase. We're the same. My thirst will not be quenched until the world is raised. We're the same. River upon the banks will rise and make me whole. Let yourself surrender, because we both know it's close your eyes, the end is near. We're the same, you made that clear. Fade to black, it's all that's left. Your soul corrodes, I'm inside. You can't Also, by the fucking way, YouTube, don't demonetize this video because of that song. It was a suggestion by a viewer. Don't demonetize this damn video because of that song. Okay? Okay. Now, anyway, Izuku would just kind of blankly stare at William as he's like perking up his eyebrows repeatedly. You know, that kind of meme? Like smiling, like, eh? What do you say? Izuku would just turn to the side and just like vomit out rainbows. As like William's like, okay, I don't think I'm that bad at singing. As like Izuku would wipe off the rainbows and just like go, no, 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 very well sung song. The reason I'm vomiting is because, currently my stomach's busy merging with the metal scaffolding right now. Also, you are a child murderer. And, oh shit, forgot to do the voice. You are a child murderer. I don't think it would be a good idea if I gave you any kind of control over my body. Like, William would just kind of look at him for a few moments before walking up to him, grabbing him by the collar, and going, okay, look, you won't be able to stave me off for long. It's best if we just work together on this. Remember, I always come back. Izuku would just kind of look at him like, the line's cool, just the context of the situation. You're really not selling it there, bud. Like, William would just kind of walk off into the dark void and just like crouch down and pout like a fucking child. Cut to the real world, the world of the living. Izuku's quirk. I believe it's called augmentation. Is, working. Because, well, I guess technically the metal skeleton can count as, well, a bunch of augments. As well, like Akira's looking at this like, that was not a smart move by the serial killer. As like, Izuku, after a few moments, Springtrap, which is kind of spring up. Pun intended, I guess. As he would just turn around, see Akira, and go, well, this is interesting. Oh shit, my voice. Yeah, it's deeper. Izuku would just remember the guy in the purple suit, as he would just silently curse himself, as like, he would then, as well, the mouth of this, spring trap would just kind of open like, shit, recording. Shit. Oh, it's recording. Yeah, he would just kind of open his face like this, I guess. He would just wave and go, hey. Akira would be insanely confused by his casualness about this entire situation, but yeah, I need to end this off here. It's 2 a.m. I'm sorry to the person who suggested this. I know this is subpar. I apologize sincerely, but I needed to get out a video, so I am so sorry. Anyway, goodbye, my lovely, lovely audience. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.